doing? Welcome back to another edition of Small Time Farmer. Today we're going to be talking about eggs, and we're going to be talking about free range, farm fresh, organic, pasture raised eggs. We're going to look at each one of those terms and see exactly what they mean, because I'm sure many of you have asked yourself, standing in line at the grocery store holding all those different eggs, exactly what does that mean? And also we're going to find out if you're paying too much for those eggs. Are they really overpriced? Is it just a marketing tool, or are you really paying for some good eggs? So sit back, hold on, here we go. All right, the first thing that we're going to be looking at is free range. What does that word actually mean? Well, free range is a word or term that's used by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and in order for a egg to be labeled free range, the chicken must have some sort of access to the outdoors. Now, it doesn't mean the chicken actually goes outdoors, and it doesn't guarantee us that the hen actually spends a certain amount of time outdoors. It simply means that a hen has access to the outdoors. So it's very quite possible that a hen could be labeled, or an egg could be labeled free range, that comes from a hen who has never been outside before. So the next time you're standing in the grocery store holding a carton of eggs that's labeled free range, remember what you've learned here. Free range doesn't necessarily mean that they are outdoors for any amount of time whatsoever. Okay, the next term we're going to be looking at is cage free. This is another USDA term. It's regulated by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and it simply means that the chickens are cage free. They don't live in cages, so these chickens in the manufacturing plant are free to roam about wherever they're at. They're not in cages. And actually, while we're talking about cages or cage free, most of the eggs that you find in your local supermarket are from hens that live in cages. They have less than 1 square foot of space that they live in. All right, the third term that we're going to be looking at is pasture raised. This is not a USDA term. The U.S. Department of Agriculture does not regulate how this term is used, and they don't regulate how it's stamped onto an egg carton. However, you might still find this label on your egg carton with some other stickers or some other labels that says certified humane or animal welfare approved. And what that means is the eggs that come from those chickens or the hens have 108 square feet of living space. So this is just about as close to a real farm fresh egg as you're going to get. So that 108 square feet of living space can be partially indoors, partially outdoors, or any combination thereof. Okay, organic, the fourth term that we're going to be looking at. Everybody is going organic with everything that they possibly can. That word is going crazy. What does organic really mean? Well, to be certified as organic by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, so yes, organic is a USDA term, the chickens must be cage-free. Well, that's important. They must be fed an organic diet that's grown without pesticides, so the food that goes to these chickens has to be grown without pesticides. And they must be managed without antibiotics or hormones and have seasonal access to the outdoors. So that's what organic means. Okay, let's stop and talk for just a second about those two things, antibiotics and hormones. If you were standing in a grocery store line holding two different cartons of eggs, and one of them said that it was hormone free and the other one didn't, I bet you would probably pick the carton of eggs that said hormone free. And I'd be willing to bet that you'd probably pay just a little bit more for that carton of eggs. And you'd be doing exactly what the marketing team at that egg manufacturing plant wanted you to do. So here it is. Wait for it. Hormones and steroids are already banned by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration in egg-producing chickens. There you go. It's already been banned. Of course, the label would say grown without or produced without hormones or produced without antibiotics, because you can't use them. In fact, steroids were banned way back in the 1950s. So no antibiotics and steroids. That's just a marketing tool that they're going to use at the manufacturing plant in order to get you to pay just a few more pennies for that carton of eggs. The last term that I wanted to talk to you about is farm fresh. Now, a lot of egg cartons will say farm fresh, and this one also says farm fresh. Here's another one. This carton says farm fresh. I guarantee you, if you pause this video, run to your refrigerator and check your egg carton, if you read it closely enough, you'll see that somewhere on there your eggs will say farm fresh. But if you're watching this video, you probably have realized by now that your eggs are not farm fresh unless you've grown them, you've grown the chickens yourselves and you're going out and getting your own eggs. So, or unless you are buying eggs from a local farmer's market or a small farmer or something like that, then you've come to realize by this point in the video that your eggs are not farm fresh. Now that leads us to the next question. If the eggs in your local grocery store are not actually farm fresh, just how old are those eggs? Well, I can't tell you exactly, but I can tell you that an egg by law can be sold for up to 30 days after the date that it was put in the carton. And I can also tell you that when an egg is laid, the producers have 30 days to get the egg in the carton and ship it out the door. So it's quite possible that that farm fresh egg at your local grocery store may be as much as 60 days old when it hits the shelf. So when you bring it home, if you let it sit in your refrigerator for 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you could be looking at a 60 to 90 day old egg when you crack that sucker open and to get ready to fix breakfast. So now that you are familiar with some of the terms in the egg business, and you'll be able to make healthier decisions when you're standing at the grocery store line and save a few dollars while you're at it. And hey, isn't that two things that's pretty much at the top of everybody's list nowadays? Eat some things that are a little healthier and save some money while you're doing it. Think about what you've learned here today, and remember, unless you are buying true farm fresh eggs from a local producer or a local farm or your local farmer's market, you're not actually getting farm fresh eggs. And the farm fresh eggs have more amino acids and fatty acids. They have more vitamin E, more vitamin D. They're actually a super vitamin D, or super source of vitamin D. And if you don't have a local producer, you don't know a local farmer, but you're interested in getting some farm fresh eggs, contact the Chamber of Commerce in whatever city or town or county that you live in, and the Chamber of Commerce can be able to tell you where your local farmers market is at. Go out and find those local farmers and support your local farmers. I guarantee you that the eggs that you buy from a local farmers market are going to be fresher, they're going to be healthier, they're going to last longer, and you're going to be buying from somebody local and supporting your local economy. So until next time, God bless, and please like the video and feel free to subscribe. And also, if you have any comments or questions, leave those below and I'll try to answer those. And if there's anything that you'd like to see me do a video on, please feel free to leave that in the comments as well. And if at all possible, I'll get that out for you. Thank you, and thanks for stopping in and watching The Small Time Farmer.